The moment my wife raised her champagne glass at my 48th birthday dinner and said those words, I knew. I knew that 23 years of silence were about to end. But nobody in that room, not her, not my daughter, not a single one of those laughing faces had any idea what was coming next. What you're about to hear isn't just a story about betrayal, it's about power. It's about respect. And most importantly, it's about what happens when the quietest person in the room finally decides to speak. Stay until the end because the final twist will leave you speechless. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt invisible in your own home? My name is Marcus Chen. For the past 2 decades, I've lived in Boston, a beautiful brownstone in Beacon Hill. From the outside, my life looked perfect. Beautiful wife, successful daughter, comfortable lifestyle. But here's what nobody knew. I was the invisible man in my own family. My wife, Victoria Chen, was a senior partner at Hartfield and Associates, one of the most prestigious corporate law firms in New England. She wore power suits that cost more than most people's monthly rent. She drove a Tesla Model S. She had lunch with senators and CEOs. And me? I was just Marcus, the guy who worked from home doing consulting work. That's what Victoria told everyone at dinner parties. Oh, Marcus, he does some financial consulting. Nothing too exciting. She'd say it with that dismissive smile, that little wave of her hand that made 23 years of marriage feel like a clerical error she was too polite to correct. Our daughter, Emma, was even worse. 22 years old, junior year at MIT, studying international business. She had her mother's sharp tongue and her mother's talent for making me feel small. Dad, can you Venmo me 3,000? I need it for this weekend. Not please, not thank you, just send the money. And I always did. But let me take you back to that night, September 15th, the Harborview restaurant, my 48th birthday. Victoria had reserved the private dining room, 40 people, her colleagues from the firm, Emma's boyfriend Trevor, some trust fund kid whose father owned half of Cape Cod, our neighbors, Victoria's tennis club friends, everyone except my friends, because Victoria never asked if I wanted to invite anyone. The dinner was going fine. Expensive wine, lobster risotto, the kind of food where you're not sure if you're supposed to eat it or frame it. Then came the toast. Victoria stood up, champagne glass in hand. Everyone got quiet. She had that commanding presence. When Victoria spoke, people listened. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight to celebrate Marcus's birthday, she began. So far, so good. You know, when I married Marcus 23 years ago, I thought I was getting a partner, someone ambitious, someone driven. My stomach dropped, but what I got instead was, well, let's just say I became the breadwinner by default. Nervous laughter rippled through the room. She wasn't done. While I was building my career, closing million-dollar deals, Marcus was at home doing, what was it again, honey? Financial consulting? She made air quotes. I mean, someone has to stay home and manage the household, right? More laughter, louder this time. Emma giggled. Trevor smirked. But seriously, Victoria continued, I want to toast to Marcus for being comfortable with his, let's call it his supportive role in our family. Not every man can handle his wife being more successful. So here's to you, honey. Happy birthday to my very own house husband. The room erupted in laughter and applause. Everyone raised their glasses. Everyone except me. I sat there, fork halfway to my mouth, feeling 40 pairs of eyes on me. Some pitying, some amused, some just uncomfortable. Victoria sat down, looking pleased with herself. Emma leaned over and whispered to Trevor, loud enough for me to hear, God, Mom is savage. Let me pause here and ask you something. What would you do in this moment? Would you make a scene? Would you laugh it off? Would you leave? Think about it, because what I did next changed everything. I didn't yell. I didn't throw my napkin down dramatically. I didn't give a speech. I just stood up, quietly folded my napkin, and walked out. Marcus, Marcus, where are you going? Victoria called after me, but her tone wasn't concerned. It was annoyed, like I was embarrassing her by leaving my own birthday dinner. I didn't answer. I walked through that restaurant, past the shocked faces, past the whispers, and out into the cool September night. My phone started buzzing immediately. Victoria, so are you serious right now? You're being ridiculous. Emma, Dad, you're embarrassing Mom. Come back. Victoria again. Marcus, this is childish. Come back inside and stop being so sensitive. I turned my phone off. I stood on that sidewalk, hands in my pockets, and for the first time in 23 years, I felt free. Here's what Victoria didn't know. Here's what Emma didn't know. Here's what nobody in that restaurant knew. I wasn't just some failed consultant who stayed home while his wife became successful. I was a quantitative analyst, a damn good one. Before I married Victoria, I worked for Goldman Sachs. I built algorithmic trading systems. And when I left Wall Street, I didn't stop working, I just stopped talking about it. For 23 years, I'd been managing a portfolio that had grown from $3 million to $97 million. Every penny Emma spent at MIT, that came from my investments. Victoria's partnership buy-in at Hartfield and Associates, I funded it. Our brownstone in Beacon Hill, I bought it outright in 2008 during the crash. Victoria's Tesla, my money. Emma's spring break trips to Bali, my money. The vacation home in Martha's Vineyard, my money. Everything. And nobody knew because I never told them. Why? Because I loved them. Because I thought silence and humility were virtues. Because I believed that being a good husband and father meant supporting them without needing credit. But that night, standing on that sidewalk, I realized something. Silence isn't humility, it's invisibility. And I was done being invisible. I didn't go home that night. I checked into the Four Seasons, booked a suite, ordered room service, and I started making calls. First call, Richard Morrison, my estate attorney. Richard, I need you to restructure everything. All assets currently in joint accounts need to be moved to separate accounts under my name only. The brownstone, the Martha's Vineyard property, the investment accounts, everything. Marcus, are you sure about this? This is pretty drastic. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Second call. Patricia Weinberg, a colleague from my Goldman days who now ran her own venture capital firm. Patricia, remember that fintech startup you wanted me to invest in last year? The one Victoria talked me out of? Let's talk numbers. Third call. James Hartfield, senior founding partner at Victoria's firm. James, it's Marcus Chen. We need to have a conversation about the investment I made in your firm 7 years ago. Here's where it gets interesting, folks. Have you ever had to make a decision that you knew would change everything? A point of no return? That's where I was. And honestly, it felt incredible. 3 days later, Victoria finally realized I wasn't coming back. She called me 17 times. I didn't answer. She sent Emma to the Four Seasons. The front desk told her I'd checked out. If I hadn't, I just told them to say that. On day 4, she got the letter from Richard Morrison. Legal notice, asset separation, immediate restructuring of all joint accounts. She called me, and this time I answered, Marcus, what the hell is going on? Her voice was different now, not annoyed, not dismissive, afraid. I'm simply reorganizing our financial arrangements, I said calmly. Reorganizing? Marcus, you can't just, the accounts are frozen. My credit cards aren't working. Those were my accounts, Victoria. I'm simply taking back what's mine. Your accounts? Marcus, we're married. Everything is ours. Is it? Because at my birthday dinner, you made it very clear that everything successful in our life is yours. I'm just clarifying the reality. Silence on the other end. Marcus, please, can we talk about this? We're talking now. I mean, in person, please. I didn't realize. Didn't realize what, Victoria? That I contributed anything to this family? That I had any value beyond being your punchline? That's not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fair? For 23 years, I've funded your career, your lifestyle, our daughter's education, and all I asked for in return was respect. Just basic respect, and you couldn't even give me that. Another long silence. What do you want? She finally asked. I want you to understand what you've taken for granted. I hung up. Emma was next. She tried to use her credit card at some boutique in Cambridge, declined. She called Victoria, found out what was happening. Then she called me. Dad, seriously? You're cutting me off because mom made a joke? It wasn't a joke, Emma. Oh my God, you're being so dramatic. Fine, she was insensitive. But cutting off your own daughter? That's insane. Emma, do you know how much your MIT tuition costs? Like, I don't know, 50,000? 73,000 per year, that's $292,000 over 4 years. Do you know who pays that? Silence. Your mother? The firm provides. No, Emma, I pay it every semester from accounts that I've been managing for 20 years, accounts that your mother didn't even know existed. Wait, what? Your spring break trip to Thailand last year? $8,500, I paid it. Your car, the BMW you totaled and didn't even apologize for? $42,000, I paid it. Your apartment off campus? $4,000 a month, I pay it. I could hear her breathing change. Emma, I have never asked you for gratitude. I've never asked you to appreciate what you have, but I did expect respect. And when you laughed at your mother's jokes about me being a failure, that was the final straw. Dad, I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You meant every laugh, every eye roll, every dismissive comment. And now you're going to learn what life looks like when the person you've been mocking isn't there to catch you. So what, you're just abandoning us? No, Emma. I'm teaching you a lesson your mother should have taught you years ago. Actions have consequences. But here's where the story takes another turn. Because while I was restructuring my life, Victoria's world was falling apart in more ways than one. Remember James Hartfield, the founding partner I called? Turns out Victoria had been having an affair with Christopher Bennett, the son of Hartfield's biggest client. It had started 8 months ago. Hotel rooms, business trips that lasted a day too long, late nights at the office that weren't really at the office. I'd known for 6 months. Private investigator, photos, timeline, everything documented. And I'd said nothing. But when I called James Hartfield and mentioned that I had information that might affect the firm's reputation, well, let's just say he was very interested in having a conversation. 2 days after that call, Victoria was called into a partnership meeting. They'd found out about Christopher. His father, Harold Bennett, was furious, threatened to pull his company's business from the firm, worth about $12 million a year in billings. The partnership voted. Die. Victoria was asked to resign. She called me that night, sobbing. Marcus, they fired me. They actually fired me. I know. You know? How do you? She stopped. You told them. You told them about Christopher. I simply provided information to a business partner. What they did with that information was their choice. Business partner? What are you talking about? 7 years ago, Victoria, when you made partner, you needed $250,000 for your buy-in. Do you remember where that money came from? Silence. It came from me. And in exchange, I took a small equity stake in the firm, 3%. James and I had a private agreement. I'm not just your husband, Victoria. I'm a silent investor in the firm that just fired you. Oh my God. And here's the interesting part. That 3%, with the firm's growth, it's now worth about $4 million. I'm selling it back to the partnership, and I'm using that money to fund something I actually believe in. Think about this moment, everyone. When you discover that the person you underestimated was 3 steps ahead the whole time, how would that feel? Victoria showed up at my hotel room 2 days later. She looked different. No power suit, jeans and a sweater, hair pulled back, no makeup. She looked small. Can I come in? She asked quietly. I stepped aside. She sat on the edge of the bed, hands clasped in her lap. I lost everything, she said. My job, my reputation. Emma won't talk to me. She blames me for all of this. I didn't respond. I talked to Richard about the finances. He explained everything. Marcus, I had no idea. I thought we were living off my salary. You thought I was a failure, she flinched. I didn't think that. Yes, you did. You said it at my birthday dinner, in front of 40 people. I was trying to be funny. It was a joke. No, Victoria, jokes are funny. What you did was humiliate me. You've been doing it for years. Every dinner party, every family gathering, every opportunity you had to make me feel small, you took it. Tears started rolling down her cheeks. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I got caught up in my career, in the image, in trying to prove. I don't even know what I was trying to prove. Prove that you didn't need me. She looked up, eyes red. That's not true, isn't it? You built this entire identity around being the powerful one, the successful one, and I was just the prop that made you look better, the lesser husband who made your achievements shine brighter. I never meant to make you feel that way, but you did. For 23 years, you made me feel that way. She wiped her eyes. What do you want, Marcus? Do you want me to beg? Because I will. Do you want me to grovel? I'll do it. Just please, tell me how to fix this. And here's the thing that surprised me. I didn't want her to beg. I didn't want revenge anymore. I just wanted her to see me. Really see me. Victoria, I don't want you to grovel. I want you to understand. I want you to realize that for our entire marriage, you've treated me like an accessory, like furniture, something that was just there. And I let you. I stayed quiet. I wrote the checks and fixed the problems and supported every dream you had. And I never asked for anything except respect. I know. I know that now. Do you? Or are you just scared because the money stopped? She looked at me then, really looked at me. I'm scared because I lost you, she said quietly. The money, the job, all of it. I deserve to lose it. But losing you, Marcus, I don't know how to be a person without you. And I didn't realize that until you were gone. I'm not coming back, I said. Her face crumpled. Not yet, I added. Maybe not ever. I don't know. But right now, I need time. I need to figure out who Marcus Chen is when he's not being invisible. What does that mean? It means I'm moving to California. I'm investing in a tech startup. I'm going to build something of my own for the first time in 2 decades. California? Marcus, that's across the country. I know. What about us? What about Emma? Emma is 22 years old. She needs to learn to stand on her own 2 feet. And us, Victoria, there is no us right now. There's you dealing with the consequences of your choices, and there's me finally living my own life. So that's it? 23 years and you're just done? No, I'm just done being invisible. If you can learn to see me, really see me, then maybe we can rebuild something. But it won't be the old marriage. It won't be you as the star and me as the stagehand. It'll have to be something completely different. She sat there, silent, absorbing it all. Do you still love me? She finally asked. I thought about that question for a long time. I don't know, I said honestly. I love the woman I married 23 years ago, but I don't know if that woman still exists. That was 6 months ago. I'm writing this from Palo Alto. My tech investment paid off big. We just got acquired by Google for 85 million. My cut? 18 million. Emma called me last month. She's working now. Part-time job at a campus bookstore. Her trust fund is frozen until she graduates. My condition. She's learning the value of a dollar. And slowly, painfully, she's learning humility. We have dinner once a month. Video calls. It's awkward, but it's red. Victoria, she started her own practice. Small firm. 3 attorneys. She's working twice as hard for half the money, and she says it's the most fulfilling work she's done in years. We talk every week, sometimes about logistics, sometimes about Emma, and sometimes late at night about whether there's still a chance for us. I don't know the answer to that yet, but here's what I do know. I'm not invisible anymore. I'm not the punchline at dinner parties. I'm not the silent wallet in the background. I'm Marcus Chen, investor, entrepreneur, and for the first time in my adult life, I'm proud of who I am. So let me ask you one last time. Have you ever felt invisible? Have you ever been taken for granted? Here's what I learned. Your silence isn't humility. It's not patience. It's not unconditional love. Sometimes your silence is just permission for people to keep disrespecting you. And the moment you find your voice, that's when everything changes. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real life stories and drop a comment telling me what would you have done in Marcus's situation. Remember, you teach people how to treat you, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away. Until